Hello, my name is Andrew Pang. Welcome to another edition of CMS Forex News. Today is Tuesday, July 15, 2008. In the UK, consumer inflation jumped to an annual pace of 3.8% in June, up from 3.3% in May. This figure was above expectations and is the fastest annual pace in 11 years. It will keep the pressure on the Bank of England to keep rates at their current levels, even as the economy is lurching towards a recession. The BRC Retail Sales Monitor showed sales falling 0.4% in June compared to last year. Consumers are becoming more price conscious and are spending less. In a separate report, the RICS house price balance showed that 88% of surveyors and realtors saw falling house prices in June, a slight improvement. In Germany, the ZEW Economic Sentiment Index, which measures the outlook over the next 6 months, fell to a record low of negative 63.9. In the Eurozone as a whole, the figure was negative 63.7. This is a sharp fall from May as business sentiments were dampened by a combination of surging oil prices, the strong euro, a rate hike by the ECB, and financial market turmoil. The euro-pound pair fell in favor of the pound following the releases. It is the second straight session that the pair fell as economic pressures facing the Eurozone are becoming clearer. The pound also hit a 3.5-month high against the dollar. Stocks in Europe took a pounding, with the main indexes in London, Frankfurt, and Paris down between 2 and 2.5%. The poor performance in equities increased risk aversion and boosted the yen. The euro-yen pair plunged 220 pips during the session, finding support near 166.50. In the U.S., retail sales disappointed, showing a 0.1% gain in June. It seems that the boost from the stimulus checks that have propped up the numbers recently has now faded. Excluding autos, sales were up 0.8%. Inflation to producers jumped by 1.8% in June, higher than expected, mostly on the back of higher food and energy costs. Core prices were up only 0.2%. In other releases, the Empire State Manufacturing Survey showed that manufacturing activity in New York State worsened for a third consecutive month in July. The index increased slightly from last month's level, but at negative 4.9 remained below zero. Business inventories were up 0.3%, smaller than expected, as firms cut back on stockpiles with lean economic activity ahead. The euro-dollar pair hit a new record high during European trading, climbing above 1.60 in anticipation of the testimony by Fed Chairman Bernanke. Contrary to expectations, he mainly focused on inflation, though he acknowledged downside risks to growth. In New York trading, the dollar recovered its overnight losses as an all-time high served as strong resistance. The U.S. stock market fell steeply at its open and during Bernanke's testimony. The dollar-yen, already pressured overnight, hit a one-month low near 104.15, a slide of 200 pips from the session's open. Stocks recovered, though, as oil prices fell as much as $9 at one point. This helped stop the bleeding in the pair, though the dollar did not manage a recovery like it did against the euro. The Bank of Canada held rates at 3%. Three major developments affecting the Canadian economy are the protracted weakness in the U.S. economy, ongoing turbulence in global financial markets, and sharp increases in many commodity prices. The statement was rather balanced, with members believing that the current rate is appropriate. The U.S. dollar-Canadian dollar pair reached parity prior to the New York Open, the first time that's happened since June 3rd. The last 5 sessions have seen the pair drop from the 1.02 level. The greenback found some support near the 0.9980 level in New York trading following the announcement. In New Zealand last night, data showed consumer prices increasing 1.6% in the second quarter, with the annual rate climbing to 4%. As a result, the Kiwi-US dollar pair jumped 120 pips overnight, hitting a new high at 0.7760. The Kiwi is expected to continue its interest rate advantage over the US dollar, as the bank is willing to have growth deteriorate as long as higher rates bring down inflation. Turning to upcoming releases, overnight the UK will post employment data, Germany and the Eurozone post revised CPI data for June. Switzerland meanwhile releases figures on retail sales. Tomorrow the US has a full docket with CPI data, industrial production, FOMC minutes, and international capital flows. Canada posts figures on manufacturing shipments. And that wraps it up for the day in Forex News. Join us again tomorrow right here at cmsfx.com. Until next time, happy trading.